This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. This will be fielded at the 8. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
Let's go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. So a first quarter fumble in the rain, and this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here, so they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much. You've got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost them.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend of the NFC. And the division title out of reach, we know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. His throw caught at about the 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. In for the score. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well-organized, well-coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Now let's go. 3-19.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
False start, offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Gonna throw right side here. Complete. The 30. And mark him down all the way inside the Minnesota 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions have tied it. If they hit the extra point, they'll have the lead.
When you give up a long touchdown drive, you're looking for a silver lining. In this case, it's the fact that your offense had a chance to rest, and now they can come out in the field charged up and ready to go.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And you can see they're in 2nd place in the division, but they have clinched postseason football. They have the best record among the wild card contenders, but you never really feel comfortable when you're down around that 5 or 6 slot, do you?
No, you don't. You figure you got to close the deal. You've got to make sure you clinch that spot to make sure you keep your place in the tournament, in the playoffs. But the other part, too, is the coaching staff. All year they've talked about getting a high seed, clinching home field. Now that talk changes to, hey, we're in. That's all that matters. Let's go on the road and take care of business.
So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. No chance at all. Wait.
Touchdown, Vikings! A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. And they'll go on the ground. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way. And now, Charles, what do? You want to create some space here for your punter if you have to punt.
I think maybe you just go quarterback sneak and try and create that space and hope your punter can help you out.
And he'll take this one up to about the 6-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
And that's why the fullback position was created. You just want a big, strong, powerful guy you can hand the ball to and pick up good yardage.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields. And oh, look at that. A diving catch. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. Late in the season now, MVP chatter starts, and he might be on the fringe. This is always an award that goes quarterback, running back, usually quarterback. A lot of bias. Does he deserve consideration?
He more than deserves consideration because the way the game is played in the NFL now, it's a pass-first league, right? So that means that people are going to adjust their defenses for him each and every week.
Touchdown, Vikings! In for the score. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
You're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make the
Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
He'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I know you don't get anything extra for degree of difficulty, but maybe you should. He's done absolutely everything in this game today, including laying out for that one.
His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down.
He was the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They go play action here on 1st down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because he just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down. Looking to throw. Fields escaping the pressure right. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Not too many missteps in the red zone thus far. He was going for his 5th touchdown pass. His man couldn't shake free there, but boy, you know he's going to take another shot before this one's over.
Yeah, exactly, because you know 3 is good, 4 is excellent. You get 5, that's a whale of a game. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. Taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Carlson on for the PAT. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Green 39.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. The Lions on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Give him 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
And he'll be able to get this up to about the 5-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A final shot before break. Fields. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. This will be taken in at the 1. And nowhere to go. He'll make it back only to the 5-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
Back to throw. Fields. And that's going to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. He got 29 yards that time. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Schwartz. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? R-A-C?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
All right, here we go.
They'll drop to throw. He'll buy some time right. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Vikings now heading onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
That is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there at 22. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
And you know what that generally means?
Success.
Yeah, that, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Yeah, everyone dialed in.
Offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Looking to throw. Fields. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. An 80-yard touchdown. And this Viking offense is running away with this one.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On 1st and 10, Fields. And he finds a man with a crossing route.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage.
Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back to throw. Fields. Wide open receiver complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. That goes for a gain of 31. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And incomplete on the deep ball. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle him almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, let's see, he was 8 of 13 prior to that pass, now 8 of 14, Charles.
Yeah, that's not horrible, but he's been under a ton of pressure throughout this game, not able to stay on his spot. You know, quarterbacks talk about that all the time, being able to get to one place, set up and throw. When they make you move a little bit, oftentimes your accuracy suffers.
They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
He'll drop to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. You add in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Looking to throw. Fields. He's got his man on the crossing route. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them as they come up first and 10. They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Cole. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And now out comes Minnesota. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
Gone!
Back to throw. Fields. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This one taken from the 7. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Elsewhere, they're into the 4th at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And the Colts adding to their total as they're able to stretch their lead in that one. Another victory perhaps in the cards. They're looking as good as anybody as the playoffs draw near.
Set! 3-19!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
They run a draw here on second down. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's brought down all the way back in the end zone. My goodness, that's going to be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, start the bus, because they think this one is over.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. And now out comes Minnesota. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Fields. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Fields. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Were you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Vikings, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for Detroit,